All right. Good evening, and we are back here again. I believe this is episode 4, Keeper's Corner. We're here with Coach Keefer. Dan, how are we doing?
Doing good.
Good. Last week saw us travel to Amery. Bit of a surprise. I did not expect rain, but we're up there. We got some rain coming down, and a little rainy Friday first half. And let's talk about what unfolded up in Amery.
The weather was a big surprise. I checked my phone Friday morning, when I get up, and it said 15% chance of rain, so you're like, it sounds like it's going to be a great night. And then next time I checked my phone after maybe playing a little bit of golf, it said, heavy thunderstorms from 4, and it sounded like it was going to end up about 7, and you hate to see that. You start watching the radar and you're looking, and I'm like, hey, this does not look good. Much worse in Amery than it would have been if it was in Baldwin, but that's just the way it went. But anyway, some of the, so definitely the weather was a huge factor, I thought, in the first half of the game. I thought Joe Jensen in number one as a team, we did not turn the ball over, which was great considering the conditions. That was, I thought, a really good thing. I thought Joe Jensen threw the ball about as well as you can under those conditions. It was heavy rain. He was 8 for 15, but we had 3 drops, and I would argue that all 3 of those drops could have been touchdowns had the receivers been able to catch them. And now, granted, it's hard in the rain to catch the ball. It's harder to throw it and catch it when it's really raining hard. But I thought Joe was really, really good. I wasn't real happy with our performance. I felt like we started out, I felt like we were really good out of the gate. Got a 3-and-out and had good energy, and made them punt, and then we went right down the field and scored. And I almost think that maybe our kids just like, well, hey, this is going to be easy, and it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. And Amery, as we talked about, they're really good at inside linebacker, and they caused some problems. I thought their coaching staff did a really nice job. They did some things that they hadn't done, and so I give them credit. I thought we played we played good defense, but the special teams was, to be honest, it was atrocious. It was just, the big difference in the game. If you looked at the number of times they punted the ball, and granted they have a good punter and we have a good punter, but that kid's a really, really good punter, and he was able to get the ball to hit the ground, and then the distance after that. They were getting 20 yards of roll after every kick, right? And we never fielded a punt, and conversely, we kicked the ball to him, and he was able to catch it, and then he returned. Had some really good returns. I thought that was a huge thing in the game that swung field position heavily in Amery's favor when they scored their first field goal. They were on the 24-yard line when the drive started. Well,
the punt went down, I believe, the 2-yard line or so, somewhere down there.
Right, we were pinned, and then we kind of had we had an okay punt, but they had a big return, and that was not good. And then they banged through the field goal, right? And then it was again another field position. It was a field position negative for us throughout the night in special teams. So disappointing, but that's going to get better.
Well, on the positive note of special teams, I'll say, special teams, it's got to be special teams, I guess, but the spice package.
Yeah, that's been really good.
Conversion, 4 for 4 again.
Yeah.
I believe you're 4 for 4 the week before with 2 for 2 extra points. That extra point you can get when it's 2 points instead of 1 is a huge difference. So that's got to be a positive as far.
Very, very positive. That I couldn't be more happy than with how the spice thing has gone. And our kids, I think, I give a lot of credit, to the guy that calls that. And for us, that's been Dane a lot. He's the guy that chooses. We call a formation, and they have a couple. They have three choices basically that they can do. But we have a set of rules, and I feel like Dane has a good grasp on when to, because usually you fail if maybe you don't have the right call. And it's just difficult from the sideline to see exactly looking down in the end zone. We have a few things that we look for that I'm not going to obviously disclose, but
And is that kind of what led to the timeout? I think it was the second touchdown, maybe, or one touchdown, maybe, because I think Dane got banged up a little bit, and he's talking about how Dane kind of makes that call. If he's not, and then Gordon makes it. I think Gordon might have been banged up.
Yeah,
so that kind of led to that one timeout.
Actually, I know exactly what you're talking about. No, I called the timeout because I got. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but one of my coaches said, "Hey, we were short a guy.
Okay.
We thought we didn't have a guy in, so I took a timeout. We had a guy in, and actually, Gio was the player in question, and he's practiced it too. So we actually do feel like we got some depth. I mean, they all are learning. They all kind of listen at practice for what when we do what. So. Yeah, we were fine. So yeah, but you're right.
Okay.
That's why that timeout was.
Defensively, again, it was a special teams. We'll say it led to it was a 3-and-out, if you will. It led to a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they got a big 4th down fake punt run that led eventually to the touchdown drive.
Yep.
But defensively, again, you got to be very happy. I think there was a stat we had on Blackhawk TV from Mr. Ambrose that it was 99-0 first half prior to Amery.
Wow.
Baldwin outscored people. So the zero's gone, but still.
Yeah.
That you talk 4 opening possessions for each team, 0 for 4 for the opponents, 4 for the Blackhawks. Getting off to a huge start. Mm-hmm. But now defensively, what stood out to you defensively in this?
I thought we really played great defense. I mean, the short field stuff got them. They got us on that fake punt, and that was a discussion that we had in the week, like, hey, if we line up like this, we were a little vulnerable to a fake, exactly where they did it. But we kind of rolled the dice and thought that, maybe we could get away with it. But obviously, they did a nice job of recognizing that we were a little vulnerable there. So, I mean, again, hats off to them. Obviously, we're going to have to make some adjustments on that because, once that's on film, people are going to, take a look at that even more. But that's fine. I mean, we'll have to be ready for that. I think that ends that thought.
Okay. We talk about the fake punt. Like in practice, do you have maybe 5 minutes, a couple minutes set aside for we'll call it trick plays? I mean, you never want to have to use them, but there comes a time when maybe it's a playoff game or conference championship game where you might need the flea flicker, the hook and ladder, or whatever it is. Do you practice it? Because you can't. We do it if you don't practice.
Yeah,
it.
Absolutely, you do. You do have some trick plays that you have in your pocket that you. We also will practice against. Like once a week at least, we're going to practice against a fake punt. It'll be unannounced. There's a fake punt. There'll be a signal, and they'll. So we prepared special teams that way too. But yeah, you have some plays that you try to keep in your pocket, and you pull them out when you really need them, and so we do have a couple of those. We're not. I wouldn't say we're a real trick oriented. Once in a while we'll throw something out there.
Okay, so ultimately come away victorious, 32-10, and 2-0 in the conference, 4 overall, as we just mentioned. Looking ahead now this week, we have Somerset, I believe, coming into Kingfield. We get 2-0 at home.
Yeah.
Starting with Somerset, who lost, I believe, to Altoona. Does that sound right?
Somerset lost to Osceola.
Osceola.
Yep.
Okay.
That was their most recent loss, and then they lost a real close one to Amery. Somerset should have beat Amery. Somerset has scored points on everybody. They're very good offensively. I love what they're doing on offense. They're very challenging. We're gonna have a heck of a test defensively. Last year we scored a whole bunch on them, but they scored quite a few on us too. So we'll see if our we feel like our plan will probably be better than last year's plan. We learned some things last year, and I do think that Somerset is. They played Northwestern, who is number 1 ranked in Division 5. And I watched that game over the weekend, and they played them tough. It was 27-14. Somerset's going in for inside the 5-yard line, and they fumbled it, and a Northwestern kid recovered it and takes it back 50 yards, and then they finished that drive. So that's really right there. That's a 14-point swing, in a 13-point game. So there's no doubt that Somerset is, don't let the record fool you, because they crushed Bloomer, and they've played some good teams, and they've, they had Amery, on the ropes, and they legitimately should have won that game. I mean, I'm sure if they had it to do over, they'd do a couple things differently, but that team is definitely a scary team.
Not to single out anyone, but is there probably a Donnelly that's going to play again?
They have a Donnelly at quarterback. Yep, and he's not quite as big yet as Kane. Kane was really a big kid, and I was, to be honest, quite concerned about Kane running the ball. And he was a really good runner and a good thrower. And I can't remember what the younger brother's name is. Keaton he's a good. I mean, he throws it well. He runs it well. He's just younger. Little. I think he's maybe, I don't know if he's 170 pounds or something like that. But yeah, he's definitely a good middle border quarterback that offers the ability to throw and run. So he will definitely be a key guy for us to keep it in check.
And then looking ahead too, one thing I've kind of heard from a friend that's kind of a Somerset grad and text me the scores, they've turned the ball over quite a bit. Looking in ahead, possibly Friday, looking at potentially more rain again.
That's what I heard, yeah.
So we talk about ball security, as well as you talk about defensively trying to
get it out,
rip that ball out. So looking ahead, that could be a very big momentum shift either way of turning the ball over, forcing turnovers. Obviously, so you keep on practicing stuff like that in practice.
You have to. I mean, if you don't practice it and you just hope for it to happen, that's not gonna happen. You got to practice it. It's a skill, and that's something that we try to emphasize. And we've done a good job getting it out, but we gotta, I don't think we didn't exactly turn Amery over a whole bunch. So
got one late interception.
Yeah. Dane got one there.
Yeah. So with potential rain, Wednesday and Thursday, do you get outside? Do you try and practice a little bit?
We will always practice outdoors. The only reason we don't practice outdoors is if there's lightning, because then you obviously can't be out there. But anytime it's raining, we go outside. I mean, it is. You're gonna have to play in it, so you might as well get used to it. Again, if there's lightning here, you got to shut it down. But that's pretty standard, I'm sure, everywhere. People. It's football, man. You have to be out in it. So
right. Okay. So let's go through Coach Keefer's mind here on Saturdays after Friday night's game. Do you go to college games? Do you find yourself going to these WIAC games or any college games? Or do you kind of put yourself down and watch flipping channel back and forth? Or what's through Keefer's mind here on Saturdays?
Well, this Saturday, I did not attend any games. I do like attending games, like if I get an opportunity, like I'll go to a few games a year. Like I would go watch, Andrew Klopp play, at Duluth, or, I'd go watch Count Fritz or playing at Stout, or, I'm sure I'll make some trips over to River Falls. It just, this last weekend, I did not, a typical Saturday, I think I was up about 7:30, and I started, looking at, at that point I started looking at Somerset. I watched the Somerset Osceola game. Actually, the first thing I did is I watched our game. I take that back. I started with our game and just kind of going through and making some corrections and posting them for our kids to see, like what things, coaching points, things that we could do better. Because there's always things that I think film is a huge thing to learn from. And then I watched the Badgers, on TV. And, flipping around watching some other games, whatever. But then after the Badgers, it was Somerset Osceola, and I think I watched that game pretty a lot of time on that game, and then I moved back and watched the Somerset Amery game. Then I went back and watched the Somerset Northwestern game. So I watch a lot of high school football. Then we meet as a staff on Sunday. The defense met at 5, and I think the offense met at 7. So I mean, it chews up a lot of your weekend. Mm-hmm. I had more time because the Packers obviously weren't playing Friday, but or playing Sunday.
Right. And wasn't much of a Badger game, unfortunately.
Oof, brutal. Just brutal.
Right here. How about like previous years? Do you watch back? You know, you got Somerset coming in. Do you watch last year's? Do you watch 2 years back? Kind of.
I usually just watch the previous year's game, just to see if there's, you know, there are things. And you also look back at what you did the year before. Like you have some notes and different things that you do, and you just see, you know, if things changed. Or it's ironic because sometimes you go through this whole weekend of prep, and it's like you look at what you wrote down last year, and you look at this year, it's just about the same thing. I mean, it's like, why am I doing all that? It's the same thing, you know. But you know, sometimes it is quite different. So that's why you got to do it.
Okay. Before we talk about the lower level, it's Monday night here. We just had JV. I do have a couple scores for you. We'll see. And now, warning, they're no longer layups. Last week was pretty easy. I only got 3 this week. Oof. They're all local.
Okay.
None of them are conference. First one, 8-39.
I think I'm not sure. Menominee
is going to be I'll say smaller schools, if you will.
Oh, it's Boyceville. It's Boyceville and Glenwood City.
Boyceville's got a pretty good squad.
Boyceville's got a good squad. Boyceville's got a good squad. You know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to start paying attention a little closer to these dang scores. I just glanced at them last week, you know.
All right, well,
Yeah,
so the second one, 24-41. I think you might get that one.
24-41, I think, was Menominee got beat by, who did they lose to again? Rice Lake?
Yeah.
Menominee, Rice Lake? Okay.
Being former.
Yeah, in fact, I think Menominee's pretty banged up. I heard they had like seven starters out with injury. That's tough. I
just go back to the Hudson days. It's always nice to see Menominee on the bad end. Menominee, but
Menominee is not a great
so dang good. So
yeah.
And the last one I got was 21-24.
Yeah, that would be that must have been a great game. Hudson beating New Richmond. I would have loved to see in that game. I mean, I have a ton of respect for both those programs, and Reggie at New Richmond and Adam Cowles, Reggie Larson, Bruce Larson's son. Those guys, they're both great coaches, and they do a heck of a job. That would have been a heck of a game. I know New Richmond's tough. I watched them early in the year on a Thursday night. I watched them against Marshfield, and they're tough.
So that conference, I mean, alone, you got Rice Lake,
right?
New Richmond, Hudson's 4-0. I believe River Falls is 4-0.
River Falls is good too this year.
They might have Rice Lake or New Richmond 1 or 2 this week. I want to say. So kind of see
some big stuff coming.
Yeah. Some big games there. So something new. Now I'll give you the first one, and we'll see if you can guess the next ones. In D5 right now, Prescott is 16th overall in the it's power index or playoff index, whatever it is. So D5. The rest are all conference D4. Who is number 5?
That's us.
That is Osceola.
Oh, is it?
Osceola is moved up to number 5 in the power index.
Okay.
Who was number 6?
That must be us.
That was Baldwin.
Okay.
Number 8.
8 in the Division 4 power index. 4. And it's not a conference school.
It's a conference
school.
School.
Is it Altoona?
That would be Altoona.
Interesting.
Is 8. 15th?
Maybe Ellsworth?
Or?
Amery.
And then 17th would be the one you just said.
Got to be Ellsworth.
And then you got the other 2 schools who are right now, again, I believe they take the top 32 are in.
Yeah.
So we got 33 and 34. So right now you got Somerset coming in at 33 and Central at 34. So interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah.
Again, you got 2 schools that are trying to get in the playoffs. One's coming here.
Yeah.
They try and get in the top 4. Gets you, I believe, a guaranteed 1 seed.
Yeah.
But then after that, they do take it locally, correct?
They do.
They're not gonna.
They do, but they're also gonna try to balance out. You know, like they'll take everybody that's a number 2 seed, and then they're gonna put them, close to those pins as well. And so it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out. For us, to be honest, we're not gonna worry much about that. We just got to keep getting better, and if we start, thinking about that stuff, then you're losing focus. And I think, I don't think that was the most energy we've ever had was that, we gotta try to raise our level of play, and I'm excited for that opportunity.
I think it kind of helps when, again, you talk about the good linebacker play.
Yeah.
And they were good. You need to use they punched you in the mouth. They are after you. So
yeah,
that can always help a little bit. Now we talk, you did move up though in rankings, I see, into number 3. Again, I got to mention that for Mr. Nygaard because he always likes to talk about the rankings and state rankings. So we are 3rd overall in that. But so now JV played tonight?
JV just played, yeah.
And I saw they're victorious.
Yeah, that was. I thought our defense played really good again. It was 22-7, and there was a long play, and I'm not, it doesn't do any good to complain about officiating, but it was a play where there was the ball was tipped up in the air, and the ball kind of sat on a kid's back, and then it appeared to me that our kid caught the ball, and this is not the official's fault because. They have small crews. It's not a full crew for a JV game. So there was nobody literally within 30 yards of that play. So I can't say that I saw it perfectly either, but it looked to me like our kid had it. He went to the ground, and then the play was over. Our kid had the ball, but they signaled first down, and I'm like, well, what the heck happened there? And the explanation was the officials saw them. He thought they caught it simultaneously. So simultaneous catch goes to the offense, but that whatever. It's a long ways away. But anyway, the bottom line, what I'm trying to get at is the defense played really, really well. Those kids played lights out. We played a couple freshman kids played quarterback because Colt Palmer had a little injury and just didn't think we wanted to play him. And so Jackson Vandenberg did a really nice job. He played quite a bit, and then Bennett Logterman played some quarterback too. And we were up 14-0, and they got that one with like 4 minutes left. Then we needed to get, let's finish the game, right? And we had like a second and 8 or something like that, and Vandenberg hung in there, and they had pressure coming, and we did a little slip pass out to Ryan Aho, and he went. It was a big gain, 60 yards or something like that, and then 2 plays later we punched it in to make it, the final score. But Gio Hazelman really looked good. I'll tell you, a kid that had a great game in the JV game tonight was Brenston Linebean defensively. I don't know how many times the kid made a tackle behind the line of scrimmage, but I'm not embellishing when I say it had before. Brenston really, really made some plays on defense, and that was good to see. They're doing a really nice job, and it's just good. It's when you win that just helps everything. Right. So that we get the freshmen coming up tomorrow. It's an odd deal where we're playing 2 9-minute quarters against Unity. Then we watch as Unity plays Pep and Alma, and then we play Pep and Alma. So it's like a little triangular, but hey, it's a chance. Exactly, it's a chance. So it's a game. Just gonna be a half or whatever. It's a scrimmage. I guess it counts as a scrimmage, but they'll keep score and play for a half, and we'll have a long halftime, I guess. And that'll be all right. So we'll be up there again tomorrow. But those kids are excited to play too. So
it should be fun. You get to play 2 different opponents, right? And you can learn from watching.
Yeah,
especially as a group like that. I know a lot of teams will a lot of times go to whether it's a college game or they'll go to a game and they'll sit as a team and watch and just learn from that.
Heck yeah.
So, well, Coach, we see Somerset coming to town on Friday. Hopefully we can rain hold off maybe a little bit, stay dry, but
you never know.
Take care of the ball. We won't get into too much injury reports right now because right now it's going to be banged up. People are going to have some I don't know if they're injuries, if they're hurt, that whole thing, and that's football.
It is football. We're fine. It's some guys got bumps and bruises. We could be a lot worse off.
Right. So hopefully we can stay injury free from the big injuries. No turnovers, force a few. Let's see if we can't get that running clock going again. I mean,
that sounds good to me. But that sounds good. We're gonna have to
let's go. Let's start with a 5-0 on our first drive and a 0-5 or 5-0 if you want to call it our defense first drive. And
there you go.
Let things play.
I'd like to see that. Sounds great, man.
And then you got the Packers. They got
Packers play. I think Cleveland. Does that sound right?
I don't know.
I think they play the Browns.
I was still a bit disappointed after last night, so I don't know if I want to.
Yeah, I'll tell you. You know, it's hard. You know, it's like McCarthy played great. You know, the comeback quarter of the first game, the fourth quarter, that was amazing. But it's tough. It's tough, man. Your first time, and he's seen stuff he's never seen before. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's going to take time, and I actually love it because I love to hear people saying, you know, oh, geez, you know what, they, you know.
Yeah.
And I was listening to the radio and somebody's saying, you know, he's helpless and it's hopeless and all this stuff. It's like, tap the brakes a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, this guy's you got to give him a couple of years. You really do. I mean, that's what you do when you draft a young guy. It takes time.
Carson Wentz for him this weekend, though, so we'll see what he can do. And
yeah. Well,
we'll see.
Yeah.
Sounds like McCarthy might be a couple of weeks. But anyway, good luck on Friday.
Yeah, thanks.
And good luck to the C Squad tomorrow night. Obviously, by the time this is on live, we'll have results of that. But we'll meet back here next week, either Monday, Tuesday, whatever works best for you. And good luck golfing on Friday. Hopefully, you can stay dry.
Hopefully, the weather holds.
It's usually a second income like that. And,
that's right. That's right.
Victorious Friday night. We'll be back here next week. Join us live, King Field, at 7 o'clock kickoff. For some reason you can't make it, we will be on Blackhawk TV. We'll see you then.
All right. Thank you.